Until you say, all the way in Switzerland, and you're tuning into the Black Fire Radio, and you're listening to the African Diary Show with Cathy. Massive. Stay tuned. Turn off the lights, pretty baby. Put on some naked love song. Turn on the noise, pretty baby. Play me some Southie soul. You miss it when I'm a hanjams on the banda manja. Let me whisper in your ear, baby, get me right and clear. Nico shaker, Nico shaker, Nico shaker. And you say hi, I'm gonna make you say hi. Baby, let's get in the mood. Hey, you with a pretty little smile. I wanna see the light just shining in your eyes. You know what to do. Mazi mata, shawasha mishuma. Manisha msuka, baby, sasa twende kazi. Wali wanasi na kuomba baby, I wanna hold you tighter and sweeter. Let's make love tonight. I wanna kiss you tender and deeper. Let's make love, I wanna hold you tighter and sweeter. Let's make love tonight. I wanna kiss you tender and deeper. Let's make love. Let's make love. Put your arms around my body. Shake it, baby. Touch me, baby. Oh, be honest. karibuni sana to another episode of the African Diary Show. I'm hoping that you're enjoying your Friday so far. And karibuni sana once again to all those who are just joining us. Shout out to Cindy, babe. I see you in the building. Zito J, I see you in the building. Shout out to Kim. I see you in the building. And to all those who are just joining us. And to all those who are with me on the radio station as well. Karibuni sana once again. My name is Katie, in case you're joining us for the first time. And of course, this is the African Diary Show. And this is the Black Hot Fire Network media of the 21st century. And on today's episode, I want us to discuss about different matters. And one of the things that we really need to talk about is how we have fluctuation of now the Kenyan shillings to the US dollar to the Kenyan shillings. And this is crazy. You know, yesterday we slept, leaving our currency at some high, and then we are waking up to our currency weakening again against the dollar, and this is just crazy. But anyway, we shall be talking about this. We shall be talking about why is our currency gaining against the dollar, because the last time for the longest time we've been seeing our currency losing value against the US dollar, but right now we're seeing our currency gaining against the US dollar. But it's funny how we don't want our currency to gain against the US dollar, and we don't want our currency to lose against the US dollar. But anyway, why is it so? Why is it so that we're not happy whenever our currency gains against the US dollar, but we are also not happy when our currency loses against the US dollar? We shall be getting to find out about this and more, much more of why is our currency gaining against the US dollar. And more of what we shall be talking about today is different matters coming from the African continent. One of it is what I've told you. The other thing I want us to talk about is how Tanzania's government debt has increased by 12.7 trillion Kenyan shillings in 1 year. This is just crazy. A high of why am I keeping on saying one? It is 12.7 trillion Kenyan shillings. Or is it Tanzanian shillings? Okay, this is Tanzanian shillings. I'm sorry. Yes, it has increased by 12.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings in 1 year, of which this is crazy. And this is what is leading to our currency right here in the 254 fluctuate the way we are seeing it right now. In the morning, I left my Kenyan shillings at 144 point something Kenyan shilling. The dollar was the exchange rate to the $1 to the Kenyan shillings was $100 is equal to 144 point something Kenyan shillings. And right now I'm seeing in some sites we have 143.05, and in some sites we have 150.05. So you don't even get to know who to believe. What is the actual exchange rate? Because we don't know what is happening in this global market. But anyway, we shall be getting to talk about that, and also the Tanzania's debt. And later on, we shall be getting to see our President William Ruto creating 16 new sub-counties, divisions, and locations. This is just crazy. Man, we are trying to work on becoming a whole country or one full country without the divisions, without having locations and subdivisions and sub-county. But the president is working very hard and tiresomely to add on new divisions, to add on new locations, sub-counties. This is just crazy because I don't acknowledge this, and I don't even love this, because this is so sad, because we are trying to show that we are one Kenyan, we are one nation, but the president is introducing new sub-counties. We are talking about 16 sub-counties, divisions, and locations. Imagine how crazy that is. But anyway, we shall be getting to see that, and later on we shall be talking about different matters, of course, coming from Africa. And this is about President Tinubu. This is Bola Tinubu of Nigeria appointing son-in-law to run housing agency. And now, when we talk about corruption, here it is in our eyes. We're just seeing this, and the people of Nigeria, I don't know what they are saying about this, but this is just crazy. Where we're seeing Bola Tinubu appointing his son-in-law to be the head of Federal Housing Authority. It is sad, it is crazy, but Nigerians should be woke and realize this and talk about it. But as we get to continue, yesterday I mentioned something that I was not able to talk about, and this is about Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo reshuffling his cabinet and sacking a finance minister. We shall be getting to see that later on as we get to carry on with our show for today. And I don't want to forget about this, so I think I'll just start with the information that I was supposed to talk about yesterday, and later on we shall be heading to other different matters. Shout out to Nebuchadnezzar. Good afternoon to you too, Nebuchadnezzar. I also see Lion Arts in the building. Karibu sana. Please make sure you stick with me right here because we are going to talk about the Kenyan shillings are gaining against the US dollar. Is this really a good thing, or what is going to happen with our Kenyan shillings gaining against the US dollar? Do you think that this is something that we should celebrate yet, or is it something that we should cry? I heard somebody saying that getting paid in US dollars and spending in Kenyan shillings is not aging very well. And actually, it's not aging very well because now, let's talk about those who are being paid in the US dollars and spending in Kenyan shillings. It's not aging very well. But anyway, let's talk about that. Let's talk about different matters coming from the beautiful continent of Africa. And I'm hoping that you'll get to interact with me and do let me know what are your thoughts regarding whatever we shall be talking about on today's episode. Remember, we have an active WhatsApp number 0705 428 388 0705 428 388. Shout out to Hawkins. Shout out to Polyamorous Jerry. I also see Voke in the building. Karibu sana. Sub-Zero, I see in the building. Karibu sana. We also have Delia Melia. I see in the building. Karibu sana. And to all those who are just joining us and to all who are just tuning in on the radio station, Karibuni sana once again. We started off our show with an amazing jam. That was a Sauti Soul, and the jam was a Nishike Ama Touch Me. I hope you did get jam onto it, but I'm hoping to go back to one more jam. Let me get that jam real quick. Okay, I'm hoping to go back to on Malay, the jam is a reason. I hope you get to enjoy or I hope you get to jam onto this jam, and also remember to come back with your quote of the day. Shout out to Hawkins. He's saying clearly you don't understand anything about the dollar from that statement. You think? Please come back right here with me, and then let's talk about that. You think I don't understand? Okay, let's come back and talk about it. Realize I don't know what to run to right now. I'm in the fire. I'm a safe mercy out there. What are we doing, my dear, my dear? I surrender you myself. My hands are in the air. Only time when I did the first time. What is the reason you do not have your own piece of my hand? Are you happy for what you doing these things to survive? Are you taking the pictures of every memories of your life? What's the reason why we're still out here? Yes, my quote of the day says the comfort zone is the greatest enemy of human potential. The comfort zone is the greatest enemy of human potential. Make a nigga so that I let it fly like you. So you don't know you try hard time and shoes. Is that you? What are we doing, my dear, my dear? I surrender you myself. My hands are in the air, only time we started the first fire. What is the reason you don't have your hobbies of my eye? Are you having fun or are you doing this thing to survive? Are you taking the pictures of the memories of your life? What's the reason why we're still out here? Greetings and salutations, Matthew and Gerard, all the way in Switzerland. We're still out here. You're tuning to the Black Hawaiian Radio, and you're listening to African Diary Show. What's the reason why we're still out here? Yes, welcome back to the African Diary Show. That was Omale and the Jam is a Reason. I hope you did get to jam onto it as we are about to start our conversation of the day. Shout out to Riri. I see you in the building. Karibu sana Riri. And to all those who are just joining me, to all those who are tuning in right now on the radio station, Karibuni sana once again. So as we get started with our conversation of the day, I promise to start with Ghana and what is happening in Ghana. This is something that I had mentioned yesterday, and I promised you guys to talk about it, but I was not able to talk about it yesterday. We had a very beautiful conversation, and we suddenly forgot about what was happening in Ghana. But straight to the matters in Ghana, Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo has reshuffled his cabinet and sacked the finance minister. And Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo sacked his minister in sweeping cabinet reshuffle ahead of elections in December. President Nana Akufo-Addo's office said Wednesday that Ofori Atta would be replaced by Mohamed Amin Adam, currently the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry and previously Deputy Energy Minister responsible for the petroleum sector. And now this is just something that happens right here in Kenya. It is something that is common to all of us. If you have not seen the president reshuffling his cabinet, I think you've been sleeping, and I think you should be watching the news oftenly, because this has been happening in every African country, and most of the time I feel like they don't even replace these people with whom they are supposed to be replaced with. Most of the time they fail as presidents. They just replace them just because they don't feel like now these people are working in their favor. And most of the time you'll find that now this is just a political issue that is leading to the reshuffling of the government and to people getting sacked. It's always like that. But anyway, Ken Ofori-Atta had been overseeing Ghana's debt restructuring efforts after the West African nation defaulted on most of its external debt in December 2022. So I think this is the reason he was sacked, because he saw this and he said, I see this coming. And he told the president, or he said this to his country members, that this is going to affect our country economic wise and also financially. But now the country didn't listen. And our puppet president, they are always not working for the betterment of their people or for the betterment of their country. They always want to hear a person who is a puppet like them trying to congratulate them on whatever they are doing, trying to tell them, you did this right and this is how it's supposed to be done. But in the actual sense, when you try to talk about the truth, you get eliminated, and that is the rule of the game. The good ones always get eliminated. But inflation rose above 50% that year, and the local cedi currency plummeted. Ofori-Atta faced calls for his resignation from street protesters and both opposition and ruling party MPs, which he survived. No reason has been given for his sacking, and change that has affected 12 other ministers of state. Information Minister Kojo Opong Nkrumah was deployed to the housing ministry. He was replaced by his deputy Fatimatu Bubakar, while Ambrose Derry, who held the interior minister portfolio, has been reassigned to the office of the president. President Nana Akufo-Addo's second and last term in office will end in 2025. So this is now because of the coming election, and who knows, maybe Nana Akufo-Addo has an interest in the also in the coming election. Maybe he wants to be re-elected as the president, or maybe he's trying to cover up something he did. But at the end of the day, this is the game. This is how everything happens. So at the end of the day, don't act surprised by what is happening. But anyway, moving on to other different matters, let's still go to West African countries, and we're talking about Nigeria right now. In Nigeria, I mentioned about President Bola Tinubu picking a son-in-law to run housing agency, and this is crazy, man. But this is not the first time we're seeing this as well. It is not even something new. We're seeing this. Some time back, we had seen Museveni appointing his son to be the general, or to be the leader of the military in the country. And, I don't want to talk about Museveni's son, because I think he's a dummy, and I think he's a dummy, just to say. But anyway, Bola Tinubu has appointed a son-in-law to run housing agency, of which this is not constitutional, and this is illegal, and this is not right, because why are you putting your family members to run these offices? And this is how money gets laundered in the government, and we keep on asking, where is the money going? But the money is going to the family, because it is the family members who always work within that government. It is just crazy. But anyway, this is what is happening. Nigeria's president Bola Tinubu has appointed his son-in-law as the head of Federal Housing Authority, sparking concerns about nepotism. Oyetende Oladimeji Ojo is married to Mr. Tinubu's eldest daughter, Floshade, and this is the first time President Tinubu has selected a relative for a position in the federal government. Remember, this person has not been in the leadership for even an year, but we have already started seeing how he is behaving on this seat. And announcing his appointment, the presidency said Mr. Ojo had over a decade of work experience in the housing and hospitality industry. He is also a former member of the housing representative, but there is a strong reaction on social media, with some arguing that there was more qualified and deserving candidates than Mr. Ojo. It's always like that, but now if you're close to the president, you always get the favor to be, you're always the lucky one, and that is very, very, very sad. But some have come out to defend the naming of Mr. Ojo for the role, saying his relationship with the president should not bar him from government jobs. And his appointment was part of the president's move to overhaul the management of the housing ministry. The FHA, which falls under the ministry, is supposed to help deliver affordable homes across Nigeria, and the government did not immediately comment on the criticism raised about the appointment. But at the end of the day, this is not right. We know very well that this is not right. It shouldn't be happening, but we're going to see it more and more as long as we have these puppet presidents as our leaders. But at the end of the day, what do you think about this? What do you say about this? Do you think that it's right for Mr. Tinubu appointing now his son is low as the minister of housing, or to head an office in the housing uh, mission, or the housing project in Nigeria, because I don't feel like this is right. It's just like the way President William Ruto would come and appoint anybody from his family, or just like the way we had criticism when people noticed that there's an daughter of the first, sorry, there's an office of the first daughter, of which the president came and said that, this is not funded by the government, it's not funded by the people taxes. But at the end of the day, do you think that it's right for the president to appoint his son-in-law to run the housing agency? I don't think this is right. This is not right at all. And this should be condemned, because if we don't condemn this, we're going to see even their sons becoming now the cabinet secretaries, the people of the, or becoming even, or getting into the office of the president, and this is not right. We have more qualified personnel to run these places or to run these offices, but at the end of the day, you find that now it is now to the favor of their connection with the president. That is how they get their jobs, of which is not right at all. But anyway, moving on to the main focus of the day, I want us to talk about the Kenyan shillings significantly appreciating against the dollar, or gaining against the dollar, of which we might think it's a good thing for Kenyans. Yes, we might think it's a good thing as Kenyans, because there was a time we were complaining, and at this point I actually don't understand what Kenyans want, or I actually I'm in that bracket. The moment the dollar depreciates, the moment the Kenyan shillings depreciates, we complain. The moment the Kenyan shillings appreciates, we complain as well. So what do we really want with the Kenyan shillings, or with the Kenyan shillings? But at the end of the day, now, if you look at if you look at statistics, this is not something that is good. It is actually not something that is good. I remembered I actually have a video to share with you about this, and then we get to continue and talk about the dollar and the Kenyan shillings, and the Kenyan shillings significantly gaining against the US dollar, because I don't think that now this is, it's okay to have value. It's okay for our currency to have value, but don't you think that thanking Mr. Ruto for helping our currency appreciate is that it's like thanking a rapist for wearing a condom while raping you? I think so. Think about thanking Mr. Ruto for our currency significantly appreciating is like thanking a rapist for wearing a condom during rape. Anyway, think about that as we get to continue. I have a video to share with you about the Kenyan shilling appreciating, and also what to hope for. Okay, here is my video, and a minute to all those who are with me on YouTube can be able to see my video clearly. I hope you can. And to all those who are with me there, okay, there. I hope you share your thoughts on the conversation with me right here, so that we get to continue. So here's my video. Get to enjoy, and remember to keep it interactive with me.
Recent days, the Kenya shilling has gained ground against the US dollar. According to experts, the continuous rally is a result of the inflows received by the government in January from major multilateral institutions, as well as the successful issue of the $1.5 billion denominated Eurobond that has been relieved the country of the pressure to repay its inaugural $2 billion bond. Jimmy Mbogo now tracks the behavior of the shilling and its marginal gains against the dollar, and just what it will take to ensure the Kenyan currency holds still.
The continuous rally of the Kenyan shilling over the last week has signaled a significant tide turn for the currency, which was expected to shed more value this year after the shilling hit an all-time high of over 160 against the US dollar. A trajectory that now seems to change with the inflow of dollar-denominated support from the International Monetary Fund (IMF), which disbursed $684 million in January 18th, followed by another disbursement from the Trade Development Bank on the 24th of January this year to a tune of $385 million. With the Africa Development Bank set to further increase the dollar liquidity in the country by an additional disbursement of $88 million. It is this fund that experts now say have given the shilling a shot in the arm against the dollar. The shilling, which stood at 162 shillings against the US dollar just 3 days ago, has regained value to close the day at an average of 153 shillings to the dollar on Thursday, indicating a significant gain that experts are now attributing to a lack of incentive for investors to keep holding on to the greenback.
For any, let's say, importer within the country who has been suffering to get dollars, now they are confident that they will get dollars within the system over the next couple of months. So there is no incentive to continue holding dollars. So as a result, we have seen a lot of panic selling, but I don't think this is having a direct impact on the economy.
As a result of this Eurobond problem, the issue around uncertainty on exchange rate has been addressed. There's now confidence, and you can see the shilling is beginning to improve. As of this morning, I'm told it was trading around 151.
The panic sale of the US dollar seen in the market, however, is expected to see the Kenya shilling gain further against the US dollar. Experts projecting that the shilling might hold steady at 140 shillings to the dollar in the second and third quarter of the year. But they remain cautious that the shilling's rally may not last as long as the macroeconomic fundamentals remain the same.
But then from what we are seeing, seems likely to be short-term. And once the equation is back in play, then we'll see the economy naturally scooping up more dollars for imports. And since we are not doing much in that with exports, then as a result, we could be seeing the dollar now tracking back against the shilling.
According to the National Treasury Principal Secretary, Dr. Chris Kiptoo, Kenyans holding the dollar should take advantage of the current window to sell off their dollars or risk losing them, even as he remains bullish that the shilling will continue to rally against the US dollar.
I want to encourage Kenyans, if you are holding any dollars because you are fearing Eurobond,
just know that this is a lie. Hold on to your dollars, my people.
Please note that now the risk of failure to settle for the Eurobond is gone. And so you need to get back to business, sell your dollars and get back to business. Don't do any speculation anymore.
The strengthening of the shilling comes barely a week after the central bank governor, Kamau Thuge, had indicated that the CBK would intervene to minimize volatility that had seen the shilling hit an all-time low against the US dollar and other major currencies.
It is my view now that the exchange rate has overshot the equilibrium rate, so there could be scope for central bank to support the exchange rate going forward.
To sell or not to sell the US dollar? That is the ultimate question for anyone holding that currency. Treasury says it is time to sell. Experts say the fundamentals have not changed. A decision that ultimately you have to make. Jimmy.
Yes, that is what I really wanted us to hear. And now going back to the conversation. So I have people asking also, that is the biggest question, to sell or to hold on to your dollars. My people, just hold to your dollars. And just like I said, thanking Mr. Ruto for our currency appreciating against the dollar. It's like thanking a rapist for using a condom during rape. And mark my words, you know, this is just crazy because you know why we're seeing now the Kenyan shillings appreciating against the US dollar? It's because of the disbursement of the IMF money we were given, right? It's because of the disbursement and of the money we recently received. So I'm wondering, until how long will this last? You know, it's just like the way they keep on closing us eyes and then boom, it's back. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even make sense. Okay, let me read you something right here. This is something that I wrote when I was analyzing some things about the Kenyan shillings. And in 10 years of Uhuru Kenyatta's tenure, the Kenyan shillings lost 27 shillings against the dollar. In just 1.5 years of President Ruto's tenure, the Kenyan shillings has lost 45 Kenyan shillings against the dollar. Thanking Ruto, yes, thanking Ruto, the dollar has dropped by 7 is like thanking the rapist for using a condom. And that's on period, because why? It doesn't even make sense. We're thanking him for doing something that he could have stopped even from happening, right? He could have stopped this to happen. But right now, he did that. And we're talking about Eurobond right here. And remember, Kenya has been on the spot for the Eurobond. And in case you don't understand what Eurobond is, Eurobond is a debt instrument that's denominated in a currency other than the home currency of the country or market in which it is issued. So, you want to mean that you have been able to pay the Eurobond in dollars, and this is why our currency right now is gaining value against them? Is that what you want to mean? Because that's a lie. You can't say that now you have been able to pay the Eurobond with loan money. This is loan money. We're talking about the disbursement of the IMF funds, of which that was lending. It was loaning us the money. So why should we count on that? Okay. The Kenyan shillings is still losing value. I understand. Sorry, the Kenyan shillings is still gaining value against the dollar. But for how long? For how long are we going to see this? And I saw so many people saying that those forex guys are the one crying about all this. It's not even about that. For how long? You cannot count on debt. So you're counting on a debt, huh? Or you're just measuring your country people just because you got a loan from the IMF, of which we know very well it's not even gonna last a year. It's not even gonna last 3 months. For how long? Okay, we have seen the Kenyan shillings has significantly appreciated, but for how long? And for you to know that this doesn't make sense, yesterday we slept, leaving the $1 going for 145.05 Kenyan shillings. Today, when I was waking up, I looked. It was at 150. Like it had gained from nowhere. It had gained 5 shillings again. And then, right now, we are talking about 143. It doesn't make sense. If you want to know that these things are not even making sense, it's a lie, it's a scam to you Kenyans, and it's just going to be for a few months. You just need to check on the figures. You cannot, you cannot wait on a debt to hold up your economy. It was just recently when I was talking about the Kenyan government buying US dollars for its reserves. So right now you have even enough dollars in your reserves. Doesn't make sense. Just because of the IMF loan, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And those who are wondering if they should hold on to their dollars or sell them, I think you should hold on to them. Just be patient. I think you should hold on to them before you think of selling them, because the Kenyan shillings will not be that high for a long time. It's not going to be high for a long time. Remember, right now we're depending on a debt, on a loan that we were given by the IMF and I don't know who else. So at the end of the day, we're not going to remain there. We are not going to remain there. But anyway, you can talk to me and let me know what you think about that, because at the end of the day, I feel like so many Kenyans are worried about that, especially those who get paid in dollars. I know, even me, I get paid in dollars. I know so many people are just like, man, our currency is appreciating against the US dollar and our salary will decrease. It's okay, but for how long? For how long? These Kenyan shillings and it appreciating, it has no life. There's no life. There's no life about this. But anyway, away from that, let's talk about something different. Let's talk about Tanzania. And Tanzania, looking still in the financial sector, Tanzania's government debt has increased by 12.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings in 1 year. And this is crazy. It is crazy. Before Samia, we never saw Tanzania borrowing money just like that. But right now, we are talking about 12.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings. You know, and now we thought that Tanzania was the only free country in East Africa, but now it's heading to be also a controlled country. And actually, it's actually one of the controlled. We are actually the same. And Dar es Salaam, Tanzania's government debt has increased to shillings to 87.47 trillion Tanzanian shillings from 74.75 Tanzanian shillings in 2022. According to the Parliamentary Budget Committee, this marks an increase of 12.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings, or 17.09% compared to the same period last year. Out of the total amount, 56.79 Tanzanian shillings billion Tanzanian shillings is external debt, while 56.79 trillion Tanzanian shillings is internal debt. This was said in Parliament on February 14th by Chairperson Daniel Silo while presenting the committee's report. He said the borrowed funds are being the borrowed funds are being utilized for various development projects such as road infrastructure, railways, airports, energy, agriculture, water, education, livestock, and health. The debt will continue to increase as Tanzania continues to undertake several major infrastructure projects which are key to attracting investors upon their completion. The projects include the standard gauge railways, the Julius Nyerere hydropower dam, and the expansion of the ports and the construction of the bus rapid transport infrastructure in Dar es Salaam. To mention just a few. And the committee's analysis shows that the increase in external debt is due to changes in exchange rates and interest rates based on the financial market conditions. And this is why I always encourage African to take loans in their currency. Look at what is happening right here. So if Tanzania owes money, they are going to pay at a different rate than they took, because the currency right now, the Kenyan shillings, is appreciating, of which is not right. I believe if you want money, make sure they can give it to you, or make sure they can lend it to you. Because at the end of the day, this is going to affect you highly. But I see Kid is saying that's their puppet, Katie. Of course it is their puppet, is why it is happening so fast. So fast. It is happening so fast. Selling Tanzania is becoming so fast. It has become so fast. But at the end of the day, I highly encourage Kenyans, Africans to take loans in their currency, because it won't be hard for you to pay loans in your currency than now being able to pay loans back in other people's currency. This would be hard. And as we get to continue, the committee's okay, I read that 2.83% of external debt has a flexible exchange rate, and 71.7% of the debt has a fixed exchange rate. He said the report indicates that the external debt consists of 16 trillion Tanzanian shillings in commercial loans and 40.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings in consensual loans. And the internal debt has various sources. Commercial banks contribute 8.289 trillion Tanzanian shillings. Financial institutions, 523 billion Tanzanian shillings. Social security funds is 8.5 trillion shillings, and the insurance funds is 1.765 trillion Tanzanian shillings. Others are foreign institutions. We also have 1 trillion, a small organization, and 1.155 trillion Tanzanian shillings, and individuals is 2.2 trillion shillings. However, according to the latest report from the International Monetary Fund, Tanzania is among the least indebted African nations. So Tanzania, you have a way to borrow much money. You know, the IMF can permit you or can give you more loans if you want. This is why they are telling you that you're the least indebted, and the aim is to make sure that you're the most indebted. So you have room for more debt, Tanzania. Come on, Samia, you can go and take more money from the IMF. And this is just crazy, because that is the aim of the IMF. It will keep on showing you that you're the least indebted. According to all African countries, you're the least indebted. They don't talk about your financial freedom. They will not show you how to become financially free. They will never teach you that. They will always tell you, you know, you're actually the least indebted in Africa. So there's room for you to get much money if you want, you know. But they will never tell you that, you know, you can become financially free. They will never teach you about the financial freedom, because they don't want you to gain that. They don't want you to be financially free. They want you to become in debt, you to stay trapped by them, so that anything happens and you're not able to pay them back, they will take over something that they want, they have been looking for in your country. For example, they will take up the ports, maybe airports. You know, you never know what they would take, but at the end of the day, the goal has always been to make sure that you are indebted by them. It is just crazy. But anyway, talk to me about that. You can tell me what you think about that as we get to continue with our show for today. Tanzania borrowing, or Tanzania's debt becoming or increasing to with 12 point 12.7 trillion Tanzanian shillings, and this is within an year. So tell me, what is going to happen in the next few hours, or in the next, not few hours, in the next few years? What is going to happen? The borrowing rate in this country is going to increase, and within a blink of an eye, we will realize that now the country has become one of the most indebted African countries. And this is so sad. But anyway, as we head on to other different conversation, this is about President William Ruto creating 16 new sub-counties, divisions, and locations. Ruto creating 16 new sub-counties, divisions, and locations in the country. And this is so crazy. Man, we are working on, or we're working towards making sure that Kenyans feel like one, but is working towards making Kenyans feel like, you know, you are in the other border, I'm in the other border, we are not one. That is what he's doing. What is with all these divisions? New sub-counties for what? So that in the national budget, we will read that I have allocated this money for the 16 new sub-counties. Man is just trying to find out ways on how he can source money and put it in his pocket, because I still don't understand this. Why do we need new locations in the country? Why do we need new divisions in the country while we have so many? Why do we need new sub-counties in the country while we have so many? Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. We have 47 counties in the country. Now talk about the sub-counties. We have so many right now, plus 16 of them. Does it even make sense? It doesn't. But Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has created a new administrative unit, including 16 sub-counties in the opposition stronghold. In the opposition stronghold. So what is this? Anyway, the cabinet secretary in a gazette notice dated February 14th, 2024 outlined establishment of 16 sub-counties, 2 divisions, 5 locations, and 7 sub-locations. So the aim is to make sure that now we have people dividing themselves because they are talking about the opposition strongholds. So it's about divisions of the people, not even they want the people to be divided. And according to the notice, the newly established sub-counties include Tatsara in Tana River, Tiriki East in Vihiga County, Narok Amalo, and Narok West in Narok County. Why do we need Narok Amalo and Narok West? And they are the same, they are in the same county. Kambu Morera, Kerio Valley, Kabras East and Kabras West in Kakamega County, and Usigu in Siaya County. Additionally, Suba Central, Suba West, Suba South, and Ruchonyo West in Homabay County, Dagoretti North, and Dagoretti South in... Man, this is crazy. Dagoretti North and Dagoretti South in Nairobi County have been designated as new administrative units. In exercise of the new powers conferred by Section 14, 1 of the National Government Coordination, Article 13, the Cabinet Secretary of Interior National Administration, Professor Kindiki, said that the creation of new division is set to streamline administrative processes to cater the growing needs of the population. The divisions, and which include Jibana, Gede, Chakama, Chara, Gasen, Central, Fafi, Mugwe, Kadhangachini, Uragate, Dagishu North, Kidungo, Kikumbulio, Kavete, Kikoko, Kagwe, Kaburu. Okay, there are so many, and Rasha, Wamagana, and Sioi, among others, will serve as focal points for local governance and service delivery, of which even if you go there, they will never deliver any service for you. But the cabinet secretary explained that establishment of administration of additional administrative units, such as I will not read the names, we have so many, and underscores the government's commitment to grassroots development and inclusivity. The new administrative units will be run by sub-county commissioners, assistant county commissioner, chiefs, and their assistants. It's just crazy with what is happening, and I don't think this is a very good move. It's actually the worst move to make, because these people are working towards dividing Kenyans and making them feel like we don't come from the same location, we don't come from the same division, we don't come from the same sub-county. You can be in the same county, but you're not in the same sub-county, and that is actually dividing Kenyans. I don't know what you feel about this, but at the end of the day, I don't think this is a good move, and I don't advocate for this. This is wrong. It is not right to keep on establishing new new locations all the time. I don't think this is right. But anyway, family, we shall wrap it up right here. Asanteni sana for being with us on today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed the conversation. And today you are not interactive, but it's okay. Thank you very much, Mr. General Mosquito. Also, Kid, I saw in the building. And to the rest of the silent listeners who are with me on the radio station. Asanteni sana. Hoping to see you later on the next episode of the Rhythm Scoop Show. Kwaherini, enjoy the rest part of the day, but don't forget to join us on the next episode of the Rhythm Scoop Show. I'm leaving you with this jam. This is Omale. The jam is the reason. Get to jam and remember to join me later. All the way. I'm